All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us for our mental health seminar this morning. And we are going to get started pretty quick here. Okay. Dun, dun, dun. All right, our presenters today are going to be myself, Reese Perez. I am our high school CTE and curriculum coordinator. Mary Beer, who is our high school counselor, and Malachi Briggs, who is our social emotional counselor. Today's schedule, we're going to start off, it says Mr. Briggs, but I'm actually going to start us off today. 10:10 to 10:30 will be health and exercise with me. 10:30 to 10:50 will be a stress and anxiety toolbox with Mrs. Beer. 10:50 to 11:10 will be self-care, and 11:10 to 11:30 will be resources and wrap-up. We'd like to introduce today by just kind of saying that we appreciate being here and this is a safe place and we are so glad that you're here. And the things that you'll need today include a pen and pencil, a yoga mat or beach towel, and an open mind. So I'd like to start out by asking the question, what do you think makes us happy? Is it having that lifelong love? Or do you think it's getting the best grades? Or do you think it's money, having lots and lots of money? Well, awesome stuff. Can be awesome stuff, right? Great, cool sports cars. Money. Is money what makes us happy? True love. Having perfect body by dieting or a beautiful face. Or good grades? I don't know. Let's find out. The facts are, a survey from 1942 asked Americans how happy they were nationwide. And the survey results came back and said that nationwide, across the nation, the average was 7.5 out of 10. And that's pretty darn good. So here we are today in 2021. How happy are we as Americans? Well, I don't know. Let's find out. Answer is 6.94 out of 10. And yeah, after a pandemic, after having our world kind of flipped on its end last year, that's kind of understandable, right? People just aren't in the greatest places. But what about the results from 2019? Well, the answer was 6.96 out of 10. And if that's the case, we weren't much happier before the pandemic, were we? How is that even possible? With all of the technological advances and extra stuff we have, the fact that we're one of the wealthiest countries in the world and we still are less happy than we used to be as a nation. That shows us that those thoughts and those things that we thought would make us happy are actually not going to make us happy. So dieting, beauty, awesome stuff, lots of money, true love, those grades, none of those things are really going to make us happy at the end of the day, right? They might give you a temporary thing, a temporary happiness or a temporary high, but long term, you can't rely on those things. So here's what science says can actually make us more happy. Counting your blessings, having an attitude of gratitude, and just stopping where you are and going, okay, what am I super thankful for in life? A roof over my head, food in my belly, clothes on my back, friends and family who love me, having a support network, right? Those are things that we can absolutely count our blessings for. And I'm sure your blessings look a little different from person to person. Being selfless, reaching out to others and using your time to help out. So studies have shown that when we focus on ourselves, yes, it makes us feel better a little bit, but being selfless and giving of our time and of ourselves, that actually makes people feel more fulfilled. And emotional contagion. So who you surround yourself with, I'm sure you guys have heard your parents talk to you about this, who you hang out with, sort of, you tend to reflect those people. Well, it's true. People who exude the emotions that you gravitate to. So people who are super calm, those are the people that you want to hang out with, right? If that's the attitude that you're going for. When you hang out around negativity, it can rub off on you just the same way. So You don't have to be affected by the people around you, though. That's the good news. You can learn to regulate your own emotions, and that will translate to those around you. And then you become that pillar or that rock for other people. So that emotional contagion, people come and look to you for that positivity and that attitude of gratitude, and that what is exuding out of you then becomes contagious, right? Routines, having things that make you feel less anxious and help you feel more in control of your day. I know when I get out of bed, I have to start my day a certain way, and I have like a morning routine, and it just helps me feel like I'm successful throughout the day, right? Because I've actually completed some things before my day even starts. And then kindness, it absolutely has a ripple effect on those around you, right? And you've seen this, I'm sure, and you've felt it. But this is just a little video that I wanted to share with you, and it's called Life Vest Inside, and it's so cute. And it just demonstrates the importance of the ripple effect and how quickly things turn people's day around, and how teeny tiny little acts of kindness can make such a huge difference.